So I'm really excited to make this video. It's going to be my favorite 608 bearing spinners. So most spinners, or many spinners, months ago at the start of this whole thing were 608. That's a larger skateboard style bearing. Those are great to work with initially, but most of the companies realized that people cared about smoothness and spin time above feedback and fidgetability. So the Rotoblades and the Zero Feuds and the Torque Bars of the world won out, and everyone moved over to the standard R188 bearing. And those are great, right? They're small and smooth and lightweight, and they're available in all sorts of great quality options if you want to go with one drop or something like that. But anyway, what happened was that most spinners ended up moving towards an R188 bearing. Unfortunately for some of us, or at least I realized too late, that I actually very much like 608 bearings. I like that they have a lot of feedback. I like that they have that sort of grindy sound to them. Yeah, they're loud and they don't spin that long, but if you're fidgeting with your fidget spinner instead of just using it like a paperweight on your desk, then perhaps you actually prefer the 608. So I've been going through the marketplace and trying to round up whatever 608s I could get, and here are my favorites. So first of all, I'm just going to say that some of the plastic fidget spinners use a 608. Some of them use a good bearing, some of them don't. I had a Yomaxer that I really like. I gave that away. So I'm going to use a Spintech as an example. It has a hybrid ceramic 608. I would say the Yomaxer is probably the best, but I really do still enjoy these. It's not my favorite though, so kick it out. And now we're left with my favorite 608 fidget spinners. I'll run through them and then I'll deliver my favorite. First of all, we have the Yardworks dabs. If you watch my videos, you know I really do love these. They sell for like between $27 and $35. They do drops all the time. They're pretty easy to get. This one is hybrid ceramic bearing in the brass. Got a nice patina. Dropped it a few times, unfortunately. Just a beautiful spinner. Again, it's loud. It spins for maybe a minute if you're lucky, but as from a fidgetability standpoint, it's really great. Keep that in there. This is the Yardworks dab in the base model, so it's steel instead of brass and has a little bit of a cheaper bearing. It's called their high-speed bearing. It's a little bit more of like a shrill, high-pitched sound. I just bought this one just to have and throw in a coat or whatever, keep in my bag if I'm traveling. Who knows? I really do like this one. For $27, this is an amazing spinner for the money. But I'm gonna throw it out of the running unless I prefer the brass. Here we have the Boomerang from 2R Designs. It's a really great brass spinner. The Boomerang Mini. This is no longer sold in the 608 because the company saw where the market was going and moved entirely over to R188s. That's fine. You got to do what you got to do to stay in business. But I was able to track down a few of these in 608, and I really do prefer them. 608s need to be cleaned a lot, and I really don't like the bearing they used in this one. I also don't like the buttons. I think these power buttons are kind of silly looking, but you can see it's got that nice 608 bearing in it. It's a good spin, fair amount of feedback, and a really nice spinner. So because of the power buttons and I don't like their selection of bearing, I'm gonna toss this one out. But if you could find one of these Boomerangs in a 608, I would definitely recommend picking it up. You could probably get them for between $25 and $30 if you look hard, although again, they are getting really hard to find in the 608. Here we have the Vorso flat top. This is one of the original fidget spinners after the Torque Bar. I think it's been dinged a lot because it uses these set screw design and people are just not happy with how well it spins. But that said, fidget spinner to use. This is definitely one of my go-tos. I think it's cool looking. I wish I had it in the copper or the stainless steel, but it looks really nice in that patina. does not spin as long as you'd expect. With an R188 converter, this thing could go for like 5 minutes. With a 608, even clean, you're looking at maybe 2 minutes, something like that. But really like this spinner. I would just caution people that sooner or later, and this is called the Flat Top V1, sooner or later a V2 is going to come out. And so I don't know if I would spend too much on one of these. If you could pick one up used for maybe 60 or 70 bucks, go for it. But for the $165 or $180 or whatever it costs new, I don't think I'd buy it. I'm gonna keep this in here. Last is the one I picked up the most recently. This is an Axis Micro. This is the stainless steel micro. It's also sold in, I believe, in a titanium and a tungsten, or stainless steel and tungsten, or brass and tungsten, depending on what you want and how much you want to spend. These things are expensive. They're hard to get. The company does pre-orders, not drops, and the pre-orders are really far behind, as I understand it. So if you ordered one now, I think it would cost you about 150 bucks, and you wouldn't get it until September, best case scenario. But it's just a beautifully made spinner, and it's one of the few spinners I have that has achieved what people are calling Grail status. And I'll do a deeper review on this. This is a really interesting spinner. It's definitely very high-end, and I was happy to pick one up on the secondary market for a pretty good price. So I think that was nice. So I would say these are my top 3 608 spinners. Yardworks Dab, Vorso Flat Top, Axis Micro. And my Axis Micro is all stainless steel, so stainless steel body, stainless steel balls. I think this is the right one for me. I didn't want it too heavy, plus I didn't want it to get too expensive with the tungsten, so I went all stainless steel. I probably am going to investigate a brass one, but who knows. So those are my top 3. Which one's my absolute favorite? I do this all the time, but my go-to is a Yardworks Dab. I just like that it's small. I like the sound that has the best feedback for me. And I like that I don't have to worry about it leaving my house. If I drop this thing or whatever, yeah, it's too bad. But it's not really a big deal. Whereas if you drop this Axis Micro, this thing is gonna like go from being, we'll just say worth a lot, to worth not so much, because they're really hard to find. And I think I'm gonna keep this one forever, but part of me says, you know what, I should keep this in really good condition, and if I ever want to get rid of it, I'm getting rid of something that's in great shape, not something that's beat up. But you know, I do buy these to use them, not to baby them, so that is maybe I should rethink that. So yeah, this is my go-to. If you have a chance to buy an Axis Micro, I would definitely say you should consider it, even though they are expensive. And the Vorso I like a lot, but I would probably say wait for V2, see what the company does. You can snag really good prices on all of these, not the Axis Micro, but all these Vorsos, because people are moving away from the 608s. So if you like 608 bearing spinners, then pricing on these is getting really good. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, but you're still watching and you're trying to figure out what the heck a 608 bearing is, go ahead and buy this Yardworks high-speed dab. I think this is a really good way to get into the world of 608 bearing spinners, and you could do it for under $30. This thing sells for $27.99 maybe, or right around there, so maybe a few bucks for shipping. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. If you have a great 608 bearing spinner that I forgot to put in here, also let me know. I'm definitely trying to hunt some more of these